live from the Kiva studios. My name is Bobbie Shrivastav, co-founder and chief product officer of Kiva. We're missing Brent. He unfortunately can't join us today, but we have an exciting guest, Lance Poole, who's joining us along with our adopted child, Nick Lamparelli. So Lance, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Lance Poole. I'm the CEO and founder of Juniper Labs.
Perfect. And then so this is our Happy Friday episode. So Lance, since you're our guest of honor, would love to have you share our first Happy Friday story.
Yeah, my story comes from Monday. I got to go golfing for the first time in a really long time. So it was nice. Like, we're all cooped up inside, and I guess Denver has loosened the restrictions enough to where you can get outside and go play golf. So there is a group of entrepreneurs and other business professionals here in Denver, and we have a monthly Monday afternoon golf outing. And so it happened for the first time. So it was just great to get to see people and be 6 feet apart, but still get to have interactions. And then I also saw Peyton Manning. So Peyton Manning, I live here in Denver, Colorado, and one of Peyton Manning's 18 homes is located here in Denver, Colorado too. And Peyton was out on the course a few groups ahead, and so it was just kind of fun to actually see a celebrity out golfing at the local municipal golf course that we were playing at. So tons of fun. The weather was beautiful. Great to get outside, and it's definitely helped my mood for the next several days.
What were any rules around carts or anything?
Yeah, so we typically always walk with this group just for the exercise, and also just you can talk a little more. One thing they have done differently is there's not the typical hole that you would putt into is filled up. So you can't, once they have a little piece of plastic sticks outside of the cup, and once your ball hits that, it's considered to, same thing as going in the hole. So they have changed that around. And then if you did get a cart, only one person to a cart is the way the rules work. So they definitely have modified things, like clubhouse is closed. You have to pay ahead of time over the phone. So certainly a handful of things that are different because of Corona.
Yeah.
At least you got to golf.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It was awesome. It was great. So yeah, it was my happy story.
Out of all the activities, that's the one that seems the safest by nature.
Right.
You're out in nature. I don't know about you, Lance, but I'm usually the one in the woods anyway, so I'm always far away from people. I'm closer to the animals.
That's right.
So Nick, do you want to go next?
Yes. So as per usual, I have not one but two as a continuation from last week. Last week, my happy story was my 4-year-old who we were having his birthday, and it was really the first one where he was really understanding what was going on. Nice. And as a continuation of the happy story, he was pretty good. He got a little overwhelmed, but it was so nice to have family over. We've purposely quarantined ourselves, and now we're able to start to mingle with other members of the family. What's especially funny though is I have to get approval from other family members before I do things, because now we know that we're safe in an expanded group. I asked if I could play softball, Lance, instead of golf. I asked if I could play softball, and I have to get permission. And right now it was just we would prefer if you didn't, even though I'll be outside and kind of far away from others, I was asked not to, so I don't expose the rest of the group. But anyways, it was fun having the birthday party. He had a blast. He wasn't as spoiled bratish as I thought he was going to be with all of the gifts, so it went really well. That was great. And my second happy story of the week is that we bound coverage for an underground facility. Now, from a company standpoint, we're beginning to develop a reputation of being able to handle more complex risks when it comes to flood. And we've written other complex accounts, underground stuff, underground parking garages, subway stations. What's unusual about this one is it's in Miami Beach and it's right on the water and it's underground. And so it's like another trophy account for us. 'Cause it's like the market really trusts us when we set our engineers on this, we set our analytics on this, and we are able to compute the risk. The market is really beginning to trust us that we know what we're doing when it comes to estimating what the flood risk is on these. And so it was a nice premium to get to close out the week. So Bobbie, though, and Lance, those are my two happy stories.
Awesome. I'll share my happy story. So over the weekend, I made something very difficult. Like in our culture, it's called a samosa. I don't know if you guys ever had a samosa. It's an Indian. It's kind of like a puffed pastry filled with potatoes
Delicious.
and peas. So I made that from scratch, and it's a process. It takes a lot of effort, but I made extra. So I surprised one of my friends, and I just put like a platter at her doorstep, and just told her like, "Hey, got a surprise for you. Go outside." So it was just super random. She lives like about 5-10 minutes away, but I haven't seen her because of all of this. Like we've seen virtually, but I thought it just brought like such a big virtual smile to her face when I did that. So that made me very happy. I think I'm learning that I can actually really, if I put some effort into it, I can actually cook really, really good. Typically my Sovin is the cook in our like he cooks amazing. So, but I'm actually like venturing out and trying different things and cooking different things.
What was the most complex part of that?
It just takes forever. It's like tedious. Like it's like a pastry. You have to roll like little bits of it. You have to cut it. It's just the process. But it was so relaxing, to be honest with you. It was like I put some music on from back in the day, and I just had a lot of fun. It was a very good me time.
That reminds me, when I was a kid, my mom used to make homemade pasta. And I remember one particular Friday, I was home from school sick, and my mom and I made pasta. And it was an all day thing, just the way you described it. And then on Sunday, she cooked all the pasta, and then like within 15 minutes it was gone. And she looked around and she said, "That's the last time I ever do that." All that work, in 15 minutes it was all gone, but it was so delicious. There's nothing like homemade food.
Yeah. I'm in the process right now of doing some char siu, which is like Chinese pork. And I have a friend here. They're from Hawaii, but both their parents are Chinese, so grew up like with traditional Chinese cooking. So this mix actually got shipped to us from Hawaii, and it's like a 4-day marinade on the pork, where you have to flip it each day, and then on the 4th day you smoke it. And so timing's working out where that's going to be our Mother's Day dinner, is having Chinese char siu.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So looking forward to. It's one of those things where there's a good bit of pressure. I don't want to mess up the pork after it's been marinating for 4 days straight.
Oops.
Yeah, that's right. That's cool. You're getting to cook more, Bobbie. It's like nice that we're all stuck inside. It gives us time to do some of these things that you might not do otherwise.
I know it's been a blessing in a disguise, because I was traveling so much, and now it's just it's really it's really cool to stay home and hang out.
Yeah. I have one other too that's more work related, but one of the things that we do each week in our weekly team meeting is we have a section called Good News and Gratitudes, and then things we call In the Ditch. And so In the Ditch is just where we screwed up throughout the week. And so we're kind of open about what mistakes we made. And then good news and gratitudes is just sort of a practice of gratitudes that we have. And I think this week it was like went on for 15, 20 minutes. And so it was just awesome to have so many things to be grateful for. And I was sitting out, I took our team meeting outside. So it's another thing that was cool, made me really happy to sit outside and nice sunny weather. And then hear folks on the team just be really thankful for things that had happened throughout the week. So if you don't have a gratitudes practice or something like that, I'd encourage it. It certainly helps.
It's so good that you're doing that early on in your
Mhm.
business culture.
Yep.
Because it's too difficult to try to implement later on after you've kind of set in your ways a little bit. I think at the startup phase it's extremely important to implement some of those pie in the sky
Right.
elements and kind of keep them, because it's just you can't do it afterwards. So, and it's like enjoyable to hear you guys talking about that, because you could burn all of your hours, all of your employees could just burn hours doing work, but
Right.
at the beginning you could be working on stuff that's actually not very important at all. Gratitude is always important.
Right. Yeah.
That's such a good practice, Lance.
Yeah, well, thanks. We one of the things we did too is we have a Slack channel, and that kind of makes it a little more natural too. Is like Slack channel is called Thanks, and so either gratitudes or thanks. We drop those in throughout the week, and then it's a good place to start when it's team meeting time to think about what are we grateful for.
Yeah,
I think that's something I may start with the Slack. I love that because we typically just do like Zoom hangouts. So
Right.
like over the weekend where it's going to be in the evening in Nepal and Armenia, and here it's going to be like kind of like early, like late morning. So we may get creative. I may make some more food, but make some like homemade dumplings. But that's it's that process is we're sharing food, even though a lot of them can't do takeout in those countries. They've kind of banned that, so we can, but they can't. So we were just thinking about doing like a cooking party. That's going to be tomorrow.
That's really cool.
For us.
Is that where part of your team's located?
We have our team located in Armenia, Nepal, Philippines, and US.
That's cool.
Yeah. Worldwide. And they're so cool. They adopt, like, we have morning meetings, it's nighttime there. We do nighttime meetings, it's morning there. So we have to be very flexible and meet people where they're at.
Yep, that's great.
Okay, guys, this ends our episode for Happy Fridays. And Lance, thank you so much for being our guest. And Nick, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Next Friday, we already have a guest. So it's going to be Jake. So we're going to share Happy Fridays with Jake. So cool. Thank you so much.